Good morning, people. It's Monday lunchtime. I've had the mother of all tidy ups. I've fixed the puncture on the wheelhouse. I've got the engine up onto the bench thanks to my dear brother turning up about an hour ago. So I'm about to commence with the rebuild of the 2CV engine, or at least the recon of the cylinder heads, valve grinding, etc, etc. But the first thing I'm going to do is take the barrels off one at once and check the piston rings aren't stuck, because this has been stood for a long time, and then have a general clean up, rub this barrel onto that cylinder head because it's the one that matches, just with a bit of grinding paste in between them to make sure we've got perfect seal, and then rebuild this side, put the barrel back on, and then I've got to look at grinding the valves and fitting the push rod tubes to that cylinder head. Fitting the push rod tubes is a job I've never done before, so it's all new to me, so if I screw it up, it'll be a laugh. Okay, I'll bring you back later. There we go, folks, the first barrel's off. There's no wear on the barrel whatsoever. There's a bit of blow-by on the piston, which may get me to put a new set of standard rings on it if it's a standard piston, but we'll clean it up and have a look anyway. I'll whip the rings off and I'll put the rings into the barrel and measure the gaps and see how we're doing. There is a bit of carbon, but nothing much to speak of really, but a lot of tarry blow-by there. It's not thick, but it's not good. It does give the impression that the rings have been leaking by, so I might just pop a new set of rings in it and have done with it, although there's no wear on the bores and the bores are very clean. Okay, I shall crack on a bit more and then bring you back again. Right, folks, 3 o'clock. Number one piston has been taken off, and I've taken the rings off, checked the rings in the bore, and although the bore is good, it needs new rings. The gaps are too wide, so it's going to be I'll get some rings as well, and I'll probably get a couple of a set of piston rings for both pistons and also a set of valve stem oil seals. The bores are perfect, there's no wear in the bores, but the rings are outside the limits, so I'm going to replace them. I'm just doing the job that takes the longest on any engine rebuild, and that's decarbonising and cleaning everything up. The pistons in I'll just hold this so that you let me just put that there and then hold it so you can see it. The piston is okay, it's in remarkably good condition. I can still see the machining marks on it, so there's no wear on the piston. There's no wear on the bore. The crown's fine. The piston was in the right way around, which is always good to find, although you do sometimes find them in the wrong way around. You sometimes find them with the rings fitted upside down, but it looks all okay. So I'm just going to crack on and get everything cleaned up, and then I'll bring you back when I'm grinding in the cylinder head to the barrel. And then I'll show you grinding the valves in as well. But other than that, as I say, it's just a muck now, just cleaning up. So I'll bring you back in a minute and show you a bit more. Right, folks, here we go. You see the surface of the barrel there? I've just put a nice thin coating of very fine grinding paste around there with a little bit of oil in it. And we put the two together like that, and that's literally all it takes. And what you're aiming for is the same result as grinding a valve in. What you're looking for is that nice grey line all the way around. 2CV engines do not have gaskets. they rely on the metal to metal contact. I think if I can show you that closely, I think you will agree there that we've got a nice matte grey line all the way around. Let's just have a look in the cylinder head itself, see what we've got there. It looks good. It looks very good indeed. It takes literally 2 minutes to do this. You can do it with the pushrod tubes in. Don't think you have to take the pushrod tubes out. But with the pushrod tubes out, you can get a lot more movement. With them in, you can get limited movement, but it can be done. There we are. A nice fine grey line all the way around, and I'm calling that done. That's all it needs, but it is a good idea because it cleans all the carbon out and it makes sure that the two mating faces are perfect, and that is perfect. That is really good. Pleased with that. I've never done it with the pushrod tubes out before. I've always done it with them in, and you can only get that much movement, but it's enough. Right, there we go. That job's done. I shall now get on to more cleaning. More cleaning. I can't order the piston rings till Wednesday, because I'm ringing 2CV City on Wednesday morning to see if the other pushrod tubes have come, and I shall order the piston rings then, and also the valves to Morris Hills. Right folks, I'll bring you back when there's something more to show you. Bye for now. And here is a job folks that you don't often see done nowadays. Valve grinding. Little drop of oil on the valve guide. Little dab of coarse paste around the edge of the rim of the valve and the seat. Can you see where I'm putting that? Can you? Like that, all around the seat. Of course, the thing not to do is to get the grinding paste into the valve guide. So we put that in like that. And then we use one of the most useless things known to man, valve grinding sucker stick. Have I got the wrong one? And that's the sound you're listening for. That beautiful grinding. You don't have to press hard. These stickers, these things do come up. I've seen mechanics throw these things the length of the workshop when they get so frustrated with them coming off. I'm doing this now before I fit the pushrod tubes, because once the pushrod tubes are in, it's a bit more awkward. And I'm also building up a bottle to fit the pushrod tubes, because it means heating the cylinder head and cooling the pushrod tubes. And I could do with an oven, but I haven't got one, so I'm going to see what I can cobble together to heat the cylinder head, preferably without melting it. That's sounding good. Let's have a look. tried it first with some fine paste, but there was a few pits in it, so I thought, right, we'll do that with coarse and then go back onto fine. That's looking good. That's looking good. It's not a racing engine, it's just a 2CV. But, of course, the more perfect everything is, the more power it puts out. The better it runs, the less fuel it uses. I think that's about ready for a quick swirl with fine. Let's have a look at the seat, see how the seat's performing. Yep, that's nicely cleaned up. This is the exhaust valve. I always start with the exhaust valve because it's usually the worst one. And that's, to be honest, just bloody perfect. Right, let's go on to some fine paste. Look at the age of that. Look at the age of that. That wasn't even new when I got it. Just a tiny bit of fine paste on there. And so it goes. I'm not going to show you hours and hours of doing this. I go on now and do the same to the inlet valve until I've got two nice parallel grey circles, one round the valve and one round the seat. And then, I mean, some people assemble them and put paraffin in the ports to check that they're not leaking, but I don't know if that's necessary, but it's a good idea, I suppose. But I shall crack on that. I'm not going to bore you to death with valve grinding. It's probably one of the most boring jobs in the automotive world. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting, probably tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay folks, well the valves are ground in, cylinder head's clean, so tomorrow's job will be to use some form of heat to warm this cylinder head up to fit the pushrod tubes, but first of all I may actually jump onto the lathe and make a fitting tool or punch to push them in. As I say, I've never done this job before and we'll just do it tomorrow if we get round to it and see how it goes. Okay, that's Monday over, see you later, bye for now. Right chaps, it's Tuesday. I didn't do very well getting here this morning. I had a bad night, it was so hot last night, and I didn't get here till 11:30. I've got the pushrod tubes in my little mini fridge cooling down, and they're actually quite cooled down a huge amount already, and one of them is almost a fit without heating the head up. I'm going to heat the head up anyway, but I need to give it a good clean first. So what I've done this morning is I've got my glaze buster, put some new emeries on it, which is wanted for a long time, and I'm just going to glaze bust this barrel, which is a process of removing the smooth polished surface so that when you fit new rings they bed in properly. Very quick and very easy, but what you do is this. And that's literally it. Job done. Glaze busted and looking lovely. Just see if I can show you that. Can you see in there now? just put some nice cross hatch honing on it. So that's ready for new rings now. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's something else going on. Bye for now. Right, boys and girls, I've cracked on and I'm making a punch to refit the valve guides. Let me just get this in shot. There we are. What I'm hoping to do is that fits in there. Now that goes a long way up there into the full thickness area. Now what I'm going to do next is reduce this section until it is that size, and then make a piece of tube to slide over this to fit to the back of that piece there, which is where the pushrod seal fits, so that when I tap this in, I'm tapping not only on that edge but on that edge as well, because if you look at the thickness of this, it's thin. It must be very easy to damage that edge, and I don't want to do that because these are 16 quid each. So I'm going to reduce that size to that size, and I'm going to make a piece to slide over there and then clamp on here somehow. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking that the ideal thing would be to thread this and then have a piece that's screwed down until it touched, but I'm not sure, because if you did that you could possibly bring that back a bit. That might not matter. I'll think about it some more. Anyway, that's going to be the job for tomorrow, because it's now a few minutes to 5. In the meantime, if I can just tilt you up a bit, I've got my little white beer fridge there chesing away, and given the fact that if you put a bottle of milk in there, if you put a pint of milk in there, it will freeze it solid as a rock overnight. I think this will be enough to cool these down, because I don't have a freezer here. It's certainly very cold. Anyway, I'm not going to leave it on overnight because I've got to finish this punch before I can do any more, so I have to finish this punch. So it looks like it's going to be pushrod tubes in tomorrow. I got sidetracked today, and I'd set my 2 angle plates to soak in the rust remover, and I took them out today, and I've got them, I'll just carefully look and take you over here. There they are. I've got them both cleaned off and de-rusted with the needle scaler, and got some paint on them. And the next will be a clean up of some emery tape and a coat of red lead. But they've both come out, to say they were in such poor condition when I got them, they were very rusty. They've both come out really well, and as I say, I've already used that one. It's amazing. I don't actually, it would have been very difficult to do that cylinder head without an angle plate, put it like that. And having an angle plate, by pure coincidence, made it so much easier. Right folks, the horrible saga continues. I'll bring you back tomorrow morning and we'll finish this punch. Bye for now. Good morning people. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it does. Or at least a new challenge has arisen. Let's be positive about it. A new challenge has arisen. Reading up last night and this morning on the wonderful internet about fitting pushrod tubes to 2 CV cylinder heads, they are not an expansion fit. The proper way to do them is to apparently use a special drill to drill out the old pushrod tubes, and then you have to fit the new pushrod tubes, which should be barely more than hand tight apparently. Now I've noticed that on this cylinder head with the new tubes, one of them is quite a tight fit and one of them is a fairly loose fit, although it's probably not that loose when it's right in position. But what it says you should do is, if it's anything other than a push fit, you have to sandpaper it off until it's a push fit. Then you put the tubes in place and then you insert a special device in here which is very similar to the device they use for fitting boilers, steam tubes in boilers. And what it does is rolls around the inside of the pushrod tube and expands it into the hole. So there is a special tool for doing it with. It's 260 quid, so I won't be buying one. The nearest thing I can think of to expand something like that is a roll bolt put inside and then tightened up, lifted a little, tightened up, lifted a little, tightened up, which should expand the tubes in place. But I'm going to think on it and see what can be done. See if I can actually build something to expand these tubes. The problem is, with a normal steam boiler tube, you put a long thread all the way through and you drive a conical wedge in either end by tightening up on the thread. Now you can't do that with these because this end of the tube is very thin indeed, and it would just collapse, or it would just turn into a funnel shape. So what we've got to do is use something that fits in one end. What they have is a rod with 3 rollers on it and some method of tensioning the rollers, and as they wind it round, the rollers roll the inside of the aluminium and expand at the same time and roll the tubes tight. I'm also wondering about something under this nut here. Instead of the big washer, put something under that nut there that just puts a finger onto either pushrod tube to stop it sliding up if it comes loose. But that's another thing. There's a long, can you see that? The holes are long, there's heads deep. Now in the fins here it's open, but at the top and at the bottom there's a collar where the tube obviously fits in tight. So we're going to have to think of some method of securing these tubes. Right, I'm going to move on to something else and have a think. So bye for now, I'll bring you back later when there's something more interesting to show you. Right, having done a bit of measuring, there's about 4 or 5 thou difference in the tubes, which could be why one fits in like that and the other doesn't. So it seems like it's not the holes in the head that's different, it's the pushrod tubes that are different. But I'm ordering another 2. I've been on to 2CB City this morning and the pallets arrived, but they haven't unwrapped it yet, so I'm going to ring them back tomorrow and order another 2. And when the other 2 come, I shall size the holes in the cylinder head, size the tubes and decide which fits which best. Have you noticed how much better it is with the lights over the bench and the lathes? I'm amazed at the improvement in quality in the video. I hope it makes it better for you as well. Okay, I'm going to soldier on with this and see if I can get a decent measurement of the inside of these holes, and then I'm going to see if I can find a roll bolt that will fit inside the tubes. That's the way to go, I think. So I'm going to do that now. Right, I'll bring you back when there's something more wonderful to show you. Bye for now. Right folks, Wednesday, 10 to 5. I've been called away and haven't achieved anything at all today, apart from a good search to prove to myself that I don't have a roll bolt of the right size to expand these pushrod tubes. But I'm going to do some research on the internet tonight and see if there's a tool available, and also order some roll bolts to fit. So that's about it for today. Tomorrow morning I have to take my daughter to her college, which is White College near Cottingham, to get her A-level results. So much stress. So I'll probably get here in the afternoon, but who knows. it could be floods of tears. I really don't know. She was put down for 3 years. So whether she'll get anything like that or not, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Right folks, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello people, good morning. It's afternoon. It's Thursday. I've just got back from taking my daughter to Wyke, where she got good results and has got into York University, so she's very pleased, we all are. Unfortunately, there's some bad news. I rang 2CV City this morning and the order that they've just received has no pushrod tubes in it. So, my next trick is to pop to my local aluminium stockholder and see if they've got any aluminium tube this size, and if they have, I'm going to make some. Right? I've been thinking further about the rolling machine that rolls the inside of the pipe to expand it into the cylinder head, and I'm thinking along the lines of a needle roller bearing, of which I've got a few but probably not one the right size, of a needle roller bearing with an expander inside it to roll it round. Also you can buy hydraulic pipe expanders, but they will only go into the first sort of 3/4 of an inch at the very most. It would do it, but whether it would be superb or not, I don't know. What I'm going to also do is clean the pushrod tubes off and put some Loctite retainer on them to definitely hold them in. I was thinking about making a... Can you see there? No, you probably can't. There's a cylinder head stud hole here, and I was thinking about making a clip that went under the stud, under the cylinder head nut, and just had an ear that went onto the edge of each pushrod tube to stop it coming up, because obviously in the position that the pushrod tubes are in, there is a washer and then a strong spring there that holds the rubber seal onto the crankcase to keep it oil tight. Now if the tube slides up that way, it's going to lose the tension on the spring. It's obviously going to leak oil at the bottom and foul the pushrod, so it's something you don't want to happen. But I'm pretty sure I can get round that. There are several ways of expanding the pushrod tubes without buying a 240 quid special tool, which doesn't look that special to me, to be honest. But there you go. I suppose it's a small volume thing, they won't sell many of them. But this afternoon I'm going commando gardening with my cousin down to his late mum's old house to clear the garden out and empty a shed. So I'll shoot some of that as well. I was looking for bits of metal yesterday that I could possibly make. I was really searching for inspiration, but I was looking for bits of metal that I could possibly make a tube expander out of. And in my collection of stuff that I bought, I found this. Now this looks like an ordinary piece of, say, silver steel, except two things. First of all, it's extremely hard. Secondly, it's extremely heavy. And thirdly, two things that turn into three things, it's not magnetic. So I think that this is possibly a piece of stellite, which makes excellent little cutting tips, like boring bar tips and etc, etc. So there you go. And there is possibly another two pieces of it, because these are also quite heavy and also non-magnetic, even though they appear to be, to all intents and purposes, they appear to be steel. That one and this one is probably lighter, but they're both hard. That one less so. That one's very hard. I suppose that... No, it's definitely steel. Oh, it's definitely some sort of... very hard substance. It's not. I don't think it's titanium. That could be titanium, I suppose. It's got that sort of look to it. Anyway, this was the one that I thought was odd. First of all, I picked it up and thought that is really heavy. Then I stuck it on a magnet, non-magnetic. So there you go. So I'll be able to play with that. Right, chaps. I've just got some thick leather gardening gloves out. I'm now going to pop up to my cousins and we're going to go commando gardening. So I'll shoot a little bit of it when we get sorted out and we start chopping. Bye for now. And here we are, folks. Here it is. Look at the state of this. Let's fight our way in. Ouch. Shit. Bugger. There's the almost closed driveway. Oh my god. Oh my god. We cut all this down. Didn't we? We cut all this down. Oh yeah. It was looking really quite smart. Looking like a garden. Yeah. No, it smells nice anyway. Oh, blackies, blackberries. My God. Yeah, it actually, beyond there, it looks clear, doesn't it? Yeah, this sort of fairly flat.
There's things fall on them.
Yeah, but what's that that's come down? It's a bit of blackthorn, isn't it?
I think it's that. Part of that.
What's that?
Well, we can't get to the rest of the garden unless we clear that.
No. Well, we'll soon deal with these. Soon deal with these nettles with the side. Why would I want to go through there?
Adventurous.
All right. Oh, that's
Being up the Limpopo.
Up the Limpopo. Yeah, it's not so bad over there, is it?
Well.
What a marvellous garden.
Well.
There's the stream, or the drain, whatever it is.
Or the dry. Oh, look, there's an apple in there.
Yeah, there is, Keith. That means we're standing under an apple tree.
That's true. Yeah.
How's that for tree recognition? Here's the insectarium.
I can hear the neighbours.
Yeah.
They can probably hear us.
No, that's the lads on reef, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's lads on reef. Aye.
They had all this clear, didn't
I know we did. I know. Bloody stuff grows. Nature, it bloody grows, doesn't it? Go on, get one down your neck. Good for you.
We ought to cut all this back.
Yeah.
And just make our way through, and I think probably clear that bit of falling stuff as well.
Yeah. Right.
Let me just open the.
The shed. The shed full of wonderful things.
If we can get in. Not that. Well, we've tidied this up really well, haven't we?
And here we are. It's still got that shed-like smell, Keith, but
yeah.
Does it still? Ooh, it's still light. Still comes on. Right.
Let's get to it.
Okay. Right. We're going to get started, and I'll bring you back to show you some more when we've achieved something, or we've got lost in the jungle. Bye for now. So here we go, folks. 2.5 hours later. We've filled 3 builders' bags and we've almost got it down. So tomorrow that elder's coming down and most of this is coming off as well. And we'll have an open, clear driveway to sweep down and head out into the garden. Right, well that's it for today. We're off for a coffee now, so catch you tomorrow. Bye for now. So here we are, folks. The end of day 2. And we've made some inroads. We've made some big inroads. Still some way to go, but as you can see, it's beginning to look like a garden again and not like a wilderness. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful garden, and it's massive. It's massive. See the big tree there? It goes further beyond that tree than it is at this side. It goes right the way up to the road that you can probably hear in the distance. I don't know. I don't know how big it is. We're going to pace it out. But it's huge. It's a really huge garden. It's beautiful, and it's got a little stream that runs occasionally through the middle of it. So there you go. Anyway, the 2CV has ground to a halt because when 2CV City stripped the pallet down, there was no pushrod tubes in it. I've made inquiries from a local engineering firm to try and get some aluminium tube. I can't get any piston rings unless I pay ridiculous prices from AN other 2CV shop, a well-known 2CV shop. So that's ground to a halt for a minute. So what I shall do next week, I don't know. Probably finish this, probably help Case to finish this for a couple of days. Look up there, look at that, isn't it beautiful? You see the far tree, what will be on the horizon to you, that is the end of the garden. It goes that far back. Yeah, that's what I shall probably do. If we go into a halt with a 2CV, I'll move on to that Walters and Smith saw, and we'll crack on with that, get something else done. No point in wasting the time, but at the moment we've still got quite a lot of stuff to shift in here, although it's beginning to take shape now. It's beginning to take shape. Another day will see us way down the garden in pretty quick order. Okay, well that's it. It's Friday. It's about 4 o'clock, gone 4 o'clock, and I'm calling it that's my week this week. So see you all later, see you all next week. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Give us a like, give us a comment, whatever. Bye for now.